So I couldn't imagine having this type of... Oh. So I just got back from the Netherlands. I got invited by Gazelle and Urban Arrow. This is my second time there. I went in 2019 with Tara. I mean, as somebody that's into bikes, it's kind of like the utopia of the bike world, I guess you could say. I mean, as far as a country that just overall is pretty advanced on this topic, I don't think there's too much that compares to the Netherlands. I gotta say, meeting a lot of people from North America that moved there, I'm starting to think that maybe I should even consider that, at least for a time, like have that experience. Living in a place that I really want to bike more, want to feel more amongst people that are biking and feel like safe to do it in all modes and feel like supported to do it in all ways. Overall, I just wanted to share the experience of the trip and what it was like and some of the fun things that we did while we were traveling. So we arrived on Thursday morning. So I flew from New York and Tara, our videographer, flew from LA, and we met round about the same time, Thursday morning. We had a bit of a tight schedule. The plans came together relatively late. There's a lot of stuff up in the air with COVID and everything else. We had, I think, 4 days planned out with Gazelle and Urban Arrow, kind of their scheduled itinerary. But I wanted to meet up with some additional people before the trip so we can create some videos and maybe help to share and elevate some of the ideas that they've been working on. So we arrived Thursday. Thursday was a relatively chill day. We went to Delft as we were going to meet up with Chris and Melissa Bruntlett early Friday morning. So basically we checked into a hotel in Delft. In Delft, they didn't have cargo bike rentals, so we actually took a train to The Hague, rented a cargo bike from a company called Bink Bike. It's a bike shop there that does rentals, and we rented an Urban Arrow and rode it back to Delft. May you do this? This is the sort of thing that I guess you start to notice that it's pretty easy to get around and not really need a car. Like we took a train there, rode back the whole way. We had really good bike infrastructure, felt really comfortable. Another cool thing about Delft, they have secure bike parking overnight for free in the city center. So this is something actually that Chamber of Commerce had come together with the city, and basically they wanted to figure out a way to subsidize this, and they were able to offer it for free. So we stored that bike overnight, woke up early, picked it up, and met Melissa and Chris and rode around the city. For those of you who don't know, Melissa and Chris, they've written a couple of books. So their first book was called Building the Cycling City, the Dutch blueprint for urban vitality. And that was introduced in 2018. And basically the idea is to try and understand what the Netherlands has been successful with and maybe how we can potentially borrow some of those ideas.
Well, the plan was to fix Vancouver, and we ended up on this mission to try and fix the rest of the world too, by starting with articles of what Vancouver could learn from the Netherlands. That snowballed into a book about what the world could learn from the Netherlands.
And then they followed that up to a more recent book in 2020 called Curbing Traffic. And the idea behind this is even more so to transmit these ideas and figure out how to transfer them. And this seems to be the big idea these days for people that are studying there and interested in this sort of stuff, is how to help other cities to really implement these sort of concepts and such, because for most they would agree that they're pretty successful, like it works. For one, there are significantly less injuries and deaths as a result of traffic crashes and that sort of thing.
The reason we're separated from the road is because the traffic volume on the street is too high for mixing.
Right.
So when we're in the neighborhoods, often there's no separated cycling infrastructure. Everyone just mixes because the speeds are...
What is generally the speed limit in neighborhoods? And
30 kilometers an hour or less.
Okay.
So it's thought that because the risk of injury or fatality is reduced significantly when the speeds are that low, which is part of the Vision Zero policy,
right.
It's okay if they mix in that space.
So 20 miles an hour for...
Yeah, sorry.
You need that conversion.
But in this space, these cars are often traveling 50, 60 kilometers an hour, which is...
30 miles.
Thank you. So they have to be separated in this space.
Two, it's just overall, from my experience, it's just a nice place to be. And I think most people will generally agree. From there, we dropped off the bike, back in The Hague, went up to Amsterdam to pick up another cargo bike from Urban Arrow at their headquarters, and prepared to go meet up with Jason Slaughter from Not Just Bikes.
Yes, we're gonna go meet Jason, and it's pretty exciting to meet with him. We're meeting all these like special people of the Netherlands.
This was really cool and kind of interesting is that he started his YouTube channel around about the same time. He's been very successful in, really comparing, contrasting North America and the Netherlands as he's moved from Canada to the Netherlands. So if you haven't seen his channel, definitely recommend it. And you'll also see a video interview of us rolling around. And that was a really good time.
And that's one of the things I try to talk about on my channel too. Like when Amsterdam became bicycle friendly after the 1970s, they didn't do it to become bicycle friendly. They actually did it to make the streets safer.
Right.
Like bicycles was not a consideration. And even in the 80s, people were still fighting just to get like a painted line on the road.
So we did actually a ride at night, which was kind of an interesting experience. So the next day was Saturday. We got up early and we took a train to Nijmegen. I think I said it right, probably said it wrong, sorry. A friend of mine, Brandon Lust, had recommended we meet up with this guy named Joost, who started the International Cargo Bike Festival and been pretty involved in advocating for cargo bikes and that sort of thing. And it was a bit of a trip because I guess it was an hour and a half, 2 hours, and our schedule was a little bit tight, but I'm glad that we did it.
Okay. This thing on?
Is this thing on?
We're on the way to Nijmegen. All right. Said it wrong.
Slaughter all of the names.
But they have a bike highway here. That's cool. This is a beautiful city. All right, I think I gotta just turn this around. Pretty cool. On that note, I'm gonna cut this here. We'll continue the journey. Peace.
So Joost arranged a cargo bike for us to borrow, and we rode around. We got to check out like a bicycle highway, which was really cool. Took a little spill, nobody got hurt.
So I couldn't imagine having this type of...
Do a rollover.
Oh, goodness.
We also got to check out a shop there called Busy Bike, really awesome, specifically focused on cargo bikes.
Yeah, we can make anything what he thinks of.
I see. We got some skills here.
This is Jan Willem made that for the bullet.
Actually, Tara, maybe we can film in something like this, huh?
That would
stay
be much.
warm.
Yeah.
But they had all sorts of innovative solutions for cargo bikes and boxes and trailers and that sort of thing. It's really pretty cool. Unfortunately, we had limited time with Joost because we had to get back to have dinner with our North American friends coming over. Next day started our planned activities. We went to the Urban Arrow International Dealer Conference.
All right, with the Urban Arrow IDC 2021.
Got to meet with a bunch of dealers from all throughout the world and got to tour their new facility. That was really cool. Also met up with Meredith Glaser again. She did a tour around the city, which we filmed. We did one originally in 2019, so we did another one with her. Again, more focused on kind of transferring these ideas and knowledge from the Netherlands to here. She's originally from California, so she has kind of an interesting perspective. I mean, that's one thing I found that I think oftentimes people that live in the Netherlands, they might take some of the things that they have for granted, or they might just not necessarily recognize that the rest of the world doesn't have anything like this. So I can really appreciate hearing from somebody that has that contrasting perspective and experience. Monday, went back to the IDC, kind of a slower day, got to check out some stuff, had some business meetings, this and that.
I think we need to set some of these up in a shop like this.
Then Tuesday, another early morning, went up to Gazelle and Urban, another place in Holland, and we got to check out their factory, which they've been expanding quite a bit since we've last been there. It was really cool. They have some additional production lines, and we got to see, all the inventory that they have stocked up to try to prepare to keep up with the demand. What we've learned is it's really just pretty challenging because there's just these little pieces of the supply chain that can really jam up the overall production, and it could be something relatively small like brakes, it could be something bigger like a frame, but the reality is you miss one piece and the whole bike can't be built. So this is a big challenge that they're dealing with, but it seems that they're approaching things well from my novice perspective, I guess you could say. And it's really great, kind of swapping ideas for what the future looks like, where we're going to go with this, talking about some more integration as far as technology and connectivity. This seems to be the hot topic. Just more what the U.S. consumer is looking for, as that's primarily what we're focused on. So we've been trying to help them understand what the demands are, what might work better in America as opposed to the Netherlands. There's some little details like, our roads are not as good, so looking at bikes with like wider tires. One thing that was really cool to see for me as well was that they employ a lot of people in their local area, and they employ people from all sorts of ability levels as well. So they even have some people that work for them that might have certain limitations, and they found that they're able to work with them. Overall, it seems like the people are pretty happy and have some pretty strong values, which I really admire and appreciate. We also got to check out some additional construction that they're doing. They're building this pretty massive experience center where people can go and try out bikes, and then they work with their local retailer to purchase it and have ongoing service. And I think they're actually going to start this in North America as well, the first of which will be in Santa Cruz, so we're looking forward to that. Then we went out to dinner with some of the folks from Gazelle. Actually ended up staying up pretty late with a couple of the folks there and just kind of swapping ideas and just thinking big picture, just talking about different barriers to growing the industry. I really enjoy those sort of conversations, especially, talking with people that might actually be able to help get these things done on a larger scale. That was really cool. And Wednesday, this was our last full day there, but it was really an action-packed day overall. We woke up pretty early. We went to a currently running experience center, and basically they converted a car showroom to this massive Gazelle showroom. They have their full lineup of bikes there. Some of these bikes are not necessarily available in the US. I love these sort of things. They have these, just really get to fully experience things, touch and feel it, get to see what's going on inside of things. Tara was actually asking what this thing is here. It looks a little strange, this attachment to the fender, and this is actually a skirt guard. You'll find those little details really appreciate, like the frame lock here, nice rack with the straps on it. Very practical for daily use, and I think that that's something that's kind of unique to the Gazelle bikes that you don't find as much. And having some of the little details comfort-wise, like, suspension seat posts, suspension fork, that sort of thing. And they have a little test track where people are test riding. You can also borrow the bike for an extended period for a fee, something that we might end up adopting in our shops as well. We also got to check out this retailer called One2Go. I think it's one of the biggest retailers in Netherlands, perhaps Europe for that matter. I mean, they have 250 employees, I believe they sell over 40,000 bikes a year just at one location. Really quite impressive. And it kind of gives you an idea about the demand for bikes in this sort of place. Then we went back to Amsterdam and checked out the Move Museum. Really awesome experience. We got to check it out when they were first opening in 2019, but now they had some different exhibits going, and basically they showcased a lot of the innovation and ideas that they're working on through the various brands within the PON umbrella, because they do represent a lot of different brands. Their biggest business is the distribution of Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche in the Netherlands or the Benelux region. They recently became actually the biggest bike manufacturer in the world, as they've recently purchased Durrell Sports Group. So with that, they own a wide plethora of brands, and pretty impressive. So that tour was led by, I guess you could say, a new friend, Chris. He also manages the Ride Out bike shop, which is inside of Move, and they represent all the different brands that PON has, so that was really cool. And from there, he gave us really a pretty cool experience where we rode through Amsterdam pretty briskly. He was a pretty fast biker. That was kind of a cool experience. We had some challenges keeping up a little bit here and there as Tara and I ride in the cargo bike, and we would switch back and forth. Oh gosh, people are coming. Gosh, Tara. All right. You got it, you got it.
Before we even go.
Go, go, go. We're good. All right. Tara, I respect your bravery. We stopped over at a friend of his who's actually from America. His name's John Woodruff, and he has a PR company called Two Tone in Amsterdam. He's kind of got like almost his own little museum of different bikes and bike related stuff there. So it was really great just to hear from him, his experience, why he moved to the Netherlands, what the experience has been like. And it's almost like everybody's subliminally trying to convince me to come over there, and I'm not really sure. Or maybe I'm just manifesting my own destiny, we'll see. But that was awesome. And then we went to kind of the outskirts of Amsterdam to this more industrial area and went to a restaurant there. Really great experience, really awesome time to just like end off this amazing trip. I just really enjoyed my time there. I can't wait to go back. There's so much more I want to see. There's so many more people that I want to talk to. I know that there's a lot of people I want to talk to that I've connected to through this channel. Unfortunately, this trip was pretty packed in and I didn't really get an opportunity to connect with as many people as I would like, but I definitely look forward to that in the future. I will say, if you haven't been there, definitely recommend it. I know it's tough to get there right now, but I would add it to the list, that's all. Stay tuned for all the videos from that trip. There'll be a bunch of them coming out, and hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. For me, obviously, I really enjoy making these type of videos, having these experiences, and being able to share them. And from my perspective, I think that these are great opportunities to help to transfer ideas and to help us to evolve and figure out which ideas work well, which ones don't, and which ones we might want to adopt as a society to help us to move forward and help us to be happier and healthier and more connected. But until next time, I'll see you soon. All right, take care.